Welcome back, guys. Arch's Garage. This is sort of a continuation of the Lawn Boy video I did and the Cub Cadet recently that I did. So in the Cub Cadet, we went through a video. We went through a whole bunch of Cub Cadets, and I think I had 3 or 4 of them, whatever. And really, all I could make was one really nice Cub Cadet. But I started going through the motors, and so this motor was one that I was actually able to put together that I was hoping to put on the Cub Cadet Push. But I had mentioned that, I might be able to put it on another mower, and Lawnboys often come with Kohlers, so we can actually put this motor right on here. And so this has all been gone through. We went through the carburetor, we did everything to this thing. The only thing I don't have assigned to it right now is a blade and the top. Now the top I think I have, and it's not a Lawnboy top. In other words, it doesn't say Lawnboy on it. But it is a top, and if you take the label off, well, what's in a name anyway, right? So let's mount this thing up. I'm hoping this is going to be quick. This is a pretty nice body. I'm not going to paint it or do anything. So since this motor's been gone through, it's a nice machine. This motor's gone through. This deck has been cleaned. It's in nice shape. The only thing we have to do is lubricate the wheels and the adjusters. Let's bolt this on. I have to get the top, and we also have to come up with some kind of cabling system for it. Now, this one gets a choke cable, I believe. Okay, so we have to use this standard choke cable that goes with this Kohler series. The plug, I think, has already been cleaned. Let's see. It's in here. It's laying in here. I think we already did it. Yeah, look at that. So we'll put that on. We have to put some oil in. I got to find a gas cap. I don't know what to do with it. Yeah, look at that plug. It's already been done. So let me get my crap together, and let's see what comes of it. Done. All right, so using this sort of factory or stock style cabling setup for this style engine, which it doesn't really matter so much about what machine you put it on, because it's really for the engine. But since it doesn't quite fit for the machine, I'm going to show you some of the things that how I'm going to approach it. So we see here, okay, the handle's all the way back. That's no good, right? But this part works good, so this doesn't really matter where we put it. This part works. We got that going. And then over here, with the handle all the way back, you can see our brake is on. So the step one is I'm actually going to remove this spring, and we're going to relocate the hole, and so that's the next step. Now once the spring is removed, you're going to pull this cable back, this whole lever back, and you don't want to pull it all the way back, because that's just going to put a lot more spring tension on the guy's hand, and it's just not necessary. So we'll pull it back so that you have good clearance there, and you have some room here, and you want some fudge room here, some finagle room. I came up here and I mounted, you can see where the hole wants to be. As I basically I mounted this up to about where the handle is back. There's really no slack, or very little slack, and now we have a fresh hole. Now, yeah, it is a little close, but listen, what's the worst that's going to happen? It doesn't work, right? So let's get that tapped out and drilled. I like to finish up with the K, and then we need to dimple it a little bit. We really don't need to, so we don't need to dimple it, because this is a bolt through. So this is also for those plastic clips that go in. But we're going to be using a bolt through, so there's no reason to dimple it. So let's just pilot it, maybe a 1/8 drill or something, and then we're going to go through with a K. I hate this drill. One of these days I'm going to buy a real one, like the one I used to have. Now, I did mention K, but I decided to go with a G, letter G, because this is really specifically for a 1/4 bolt, whereas the K, it's great for those pushing lock styles. All right, let's just blammo this through. Let's countersink it, just deburr it, and see if it fits. Good there. There's a little bit less of an angularity there. could put cable or two through this guy, so we can take the cable back off if we want. Put them through this. It is there. Let's find out if it works. It's nice and tight. So we know this one works. Now this guy, let's test it. So with this all the way back, it stops about there, okay? And then when we pull it, excellent. So let me get the cabling through that guideway, and then we'll put the spring on. So just make it look clean. All right, let's test it. We got the bail pulled back. I probably could have pulled this thing back a little bit more because this cable stretch, but that's a note. Oh, beautiful. Now let's, with the brake off, now it'll probably be difficult to spin it, but we might get an idea. Remember, the plug's out, so. Oh, wait. It's still firing. So why would it still be, it should be grounding. It's back all the way. Let me follow that back, because it should actually be off. Could just be dirty. See that tang there? I'll spritz a little bit of acid on it first. Alright, gonna let that set for a bit. It's a Lumibrite. And then we'll go in there with a little file or a little, I don't know, something. We'll shove something in there, like a piece of, you know, sandpaper or something in there. But I don't think you really need to. You just let that set for a little bit. You'll see if I release the bail. You can also bend it up. See how it goes? I have to kind of hold it. But you can tell. Another thing too, I think this could be a little tighter. There's a lot of movement in there. So let me see what I can do. Alright, so I have to spring a little acid on it, and I gave it a little nudge with the screwdriver, bent the tang up. So we're going to test it. So now the bail is back. We should have spark, which we do. Okay, now we're going to let go of the bail. Let's see. No spark. Okay, so that's done. Okay. Now when we put the top on, I'm not going to be going, oh no, it won't shut off, or why isn't it running? So we know this is all good. I want to just pull this cable off and run it through the cable stay as well. And then I got to go find the top for it in a pull starter. All right, a little bit at a time. Going through my stash, which is great because I have so many different covers. Now this cover doesn't fit because it's designed for the magneto, the armature to be in the front. But, you know, it's in good shape. This is one from a yard machine, and this should work. We're going to just take the sticker off and we'll get this all nice and cleaned up before we put it on. And I found a whole bunch of these pull starts. I lubed it all up, guys, and you probably have seen me do that before, and because it was pretty stuck. I don't know what happened to the end, so I have an end for it. And I'm going to mount that on there now. Just push this up through. So let me get this end on and get this tied up. And then I'll start mounting all of this. So I'm digging out hardware. Now I don't have this hardware. So that's one of the next things I got to do is I got to take this over to hardware trays and start poking around and see what I can find. I don't know what that is. It could be like a 1032 or 1024 or something. It looks fine, Fred. But we'll figure it out. You can even retap it. But let's see what I can come up with. All right, I'm getting there. So I'm really going through a lot of my old inventory, which is, for me, excellent because since we are coming down to the end of the season, that's another nice thing. In fact, after I do this and I get started on the Toros, I got a couple of Toros that are the new style Kohler engines. So I'm going to be finishing up my sort of Kohler inventory routines very soon, within the next week or so. So this is just a great opportunity. So this is the top. I'm going to let Mikey, I cleaned it with lacquer thinner and mineral spirits, so Mikey can either put a little black on it, or if he wants, I would just clear coat it. A couple of coats of that, and it'll protect it. So this is working, okay, and we'll give it a quick tug to show you. We actually have to put it through. Okay, well, we're going to put it through this. I'm going to tighten this up. Now I go get the blade now. That's nice and tight. I'll get the tightening. I'll go get the blade. I actually redid the blade, guys, and you know, kind of cleaned it up, do what I usually do to it. So it's been hanging up drying while I've been doing other things, and that's typically what I do. Is I'll get to a point where I'll go find a blade or whatever, and I'll clean it up, spray it, you know, do the grinding on it and balance, and put it to the side. So now I'm going to get the blade, and I just want to put a little lubricant on these so that somebody wants to put this in their car. Also, I forgot to do this, so I want to do that. I want to get this up through there, and a couple more things, and we'll check back in a bit. All right, it's time to put the blade on. I'm dumping the oil right now. So not bad, right? I just did a basic cleanup and balance, a good sharpening and leveling of the blade. Because a lot of times they get, you know, whoever sharpens, they get all loopy. But it's balanced, and I did, you know, good cleaning and a quick paint. And Mike will be happy. That's the kind of clip that goes on that blade style. And I think it uses, see, this is the nut that was, I found for something else, the bolt rather, but pretty sure it uses this one, which is just a little bit longer. Yeah, that's the correct one. Different head size too. All right, let me zap that on, and then I'm going to add oil to it. We got to get some oil in this thing. Nice. All right, before I'm done with everything else, let's throw a little bit of lubricant. Make sure that all these adjusters work. And once that's done, oh yeah. I like to bring them all the way down. Go through the whole sweep. No way, you know, that works nice. All right, I'm going to do these and the back, and then we'll test it. We'll find out. So it's a nice thing to do, you know, cleaning up today. Gave me an opportunity to get a few more things put away in my shop before I get the next load of machines. And I really need to clean up the shop anyway. Alright, I'm going to do the back and then we'll test it. Now these are stuck, so I like to put oil on them. And I tend to run them through clockwise first. Yeah, there you go. Back up. Do this one. All right, I'm going to run them through. On this type, you can do that. Let's put this back together again. I just had to bend these tangs back because the, you know, sometimes people freak out because they're like, oh my God, the wheel doesn't stay. Well, you know, other times it's just really simple solutions. That's it. You know, but people sometimes they try to bend the spring. Well, you don't want to really bend the spring. You can't because you screw it up. All right, once again, one more time. Hopefully I'm done this time. Oh, that looks nice. Next.
Meanwhile.
What do you think, guys? Well, it's not a bad looking machine, right? So it's got manual choke. We got the blade on, we got everything else done. Fuel is in it, oil is in it. The adjusters are all fixed. Everything's lubed. Okay, let's pull the choke. And let's pull the cord. Uh-oh. What do you think? Go far? It's too much choke. Plus it's never been run. God knows when this was run. Let's let it smoke out. Dry up. Come back in a minute and see how it does. Nice. Okay guys, we're done with this one. Just going to wipe it off and let Mikey finish up. If he wants to put a little something on it, that's fine, but it's all ready to go for him or for whoever else wants it, but I think he's going to take it. So this is a pretty quick one. We just found a blade for it. This was a motor that we previously cleaned up, working on the Cubs and the other Lawnboys, and so I got to get this stuff off the floor. This is the one I think had like 120 pounds of compression, so it was definitely a good machine. It just had to burn off the stuff from sitting. So that's all done. Everything else is done. So I'll see you guys on the next one. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Maybe the Toro that I have sit next to me that I cleaned the other day. But whatever it is, hopefully you guys will stick around for that one. Arch's Garage!